Okay, now we're going to look at what happens when we multiply and divide algebraic fractions. Okay guys, we're going to times and divide algebraic fractions now. We're going to start off with a number 1. The question will ask you to simplify, or it will say express as a single fraction. And we'll have a look at these numbers. So if we had 2/3 times a quarter, we would times the tops to give us 2, and then we'd times the bottoms to give us 12. And that will simplify to a 1/6. Now before we launch into the algebraic ones, before we times the tops and the bottoms, we're going to have a little look at this first. All right, and I want you to remember this. Notice that there is an FC here. An FC stands for, doesn't stand for football club, the mighty, mighty football club of Palace. It stands for factorise and then cancel. And I want you to just remember that with an algebraic fraction, we factorise and we cancel. All right, so we remember FC, factorise, cancel first. Okay, let's move him over. So factorise, cancel, factorise, cancel, factorise, cancel. Right, let's get started. So the top, if we factorise the top is going to be x minus 3. So this is this top bit, and it will factorise with x minus 5. Okay, let's factorise the second bit, the x squared minus 9. Have you spotted it? Yep, brilliant. It's a square minus a square. So it's going in x minus 3, x plus 3. The next bit, seem to have changed colour, is going 2x, x plus 3, that's that top bit, over, and I'm going to leave him as x minus 5, x minus 5. Okay, so that's the factorising bit done. Now we're going to do the fun bit, which is the cancelling. Okay, here comes the cancelling. Okay, cancel, cancel. Right, I have got, let's start here. An x plus 3 on the top. Have I got an x plus 3 on the bottom? Yes, so those will cancel. I've got an x minus 5 on the top. Have I got an x minus 5 on the bottom? Yes. And I've got an x minus 3 on the top. Have I got an x minus 3 on the bottom? Yes. Okay, so that's that bit. Now we're going to do, so we've done the factorising, we've done the cancelling, now we're going to do the timesing out. So in the same way that I times the tops, let's times the tops here. Now, in fact, all I'm left with, because I cancelled these two out, is a 1 on the top. So I'm left with, what am I left with on the top? 1 times 2x, which just gives me 2x. And on the bottom, I was just left with a 1 on the bottom. 1 times x minus 5 is x minus 5. And that is my answer. Bing! Okay, dividing fractions. What do we do when we divide fractions? So, 2/3 divided by a quarter, we write it as 2/3, we flip the quarter to make it 4/1, and we change the divide sign to a times. So then we times out as normal. 2 times the tops, 2 times 4 is 8, and times the bottoms gives us 3, and that's the answer. So we're going to do the same with the algebra. We're going to keep the first fraction as it is, t squared plus 5t. We're going to flip the second one, 10t squared plus 40t minus 50, and we're going to change the divide sign to a times. That's a 40 there, that says 40. Okay, so before we do any kind of timesing out, we're going to remember my little friend. Here he comes. Come on, little friend, there he is. Okay, so in here we're going to remember FC stands for factorise and cancel. Factorise and cancel. Right, in fact, I've lost my squared there, haven't I? Let's pop him in. 5t squared minus 125. So we'll factorise out the first bit. I'm going to pull out a 5 out the first. So 5t squared minus 25, that's the top. In fact, that will factorise further, but we'll talk about that in a second. T squared plus 5t, I'm going to pull out a t plus 5, times 3t squared over. Now, this is a quadratic. It's not particularly nice. It's going to go into 2 brackets. I've had a little bit of a think about it. 10t plus 50, and it's a t minus 1 in the second bracket. Okay, I think I can factorise these things a little bit further. So notice, have you spotted it, gang? It's a square minus a square. So actually we're going to have 5 t plus 5, t minus 5, that's going to be the top, t over t plus 5 times 3t squared. And this bit here, do you notice there's a 10 in both of those? So I'm going to factorise that further by making it a 10t plus 5 t minus 1. And that is now my expression factorised fully. Okay, we're going to go on to the next page and see if we can cancel. Okay, let's do this cancelling bit. So what can I cancel now? I've got a 2 plus 5 on the top, and have I got one on the bottom? Yes. What else have I got? Okay, I have got a 5 on the top that can cancel with the 10 to make 2. I've got a t on the bottom that will cancel with 1 on the top to just make a t. And I think that's it. Okay, so now I've done my factorising, I've done my cancelling, I'm going to times out the tops. So what I'm left on the top is a t minus 5 times a 3t over, what am I left with on the bottom? I'm left with, there would be a 1 in there from that's all being cancelled out. So 1 times the bottom gives me t plus 5, t minus 1. Okay, that's it. Done.